In this video, I'm going to show the RC transmitter and receiver that I have made, and which has some gyroscopic stabilization capabilities. First, we start by switching the power switch on, and then we can control the control surfaces. The first one is to control the ailerons, the second one the elevator, and in the second joystick, the first one is to control the throttle. We need to use an ESC and brushless DC motor, and the second one is to control the yaw or the rudder of the airplane. Now we have the trim switch. If we switch it on, it means that we enter the trimming mode, and now we can use the joysticks in order to trim the servo motors, the control surface servo motors here for the ailerons, and now for the elevator we can trim also the servo motor of the elevator. Trimming means that we are changing the zero angle, the starting angle of the motors, and when we switch the trim switch off, now we can control the airplane, the control surfaces, and the servo motors will start from the new zero angle. And we have also the stabilization switch, and when we flip it on, the airplane enters to the stabilization mode, which means that the as you can see, the elevator and the aileron are controlled according to the angle of attitude angles of the airplane, and the controller tries to stabilize the airplane according to the these attitude angles. So the elevator and the ailerons will be set in order to make the airplane parallel to the ground. And even in the stabilization mode, we can move the elevator and the ailerons as intended. So when we leave the elevator and aileron joystick, it enters to the stabilization mode. If we move the elevator and aileron joystick, we leave the stabilization mode, or we can switch off the stabilization switch in order to control the airplane as in regular. Again, if we switch the trimming switch on, we can change the zero angles of the elevator, rudder, and ailerons. So the control of the servo motors will start from these new zero angles. Then we switch it off, the trim switch off, and we can control the servo motors starting from the new zero angles. Now if we switch the stabilization switch on, the airplane enters to the stabilization mode. If I leave the joystick, it will enter to the stabilization mode. If I move it, I can control the elevator and the ailerons. As you can see, I'm controlling the elevator and the aileron. Whenever I leave the joystick of the elevator and ailerons, the airplane will enter to the stabilization mode, and the airplane will try to stabilize itself parallel to the ground. As you can see, I can control it or I can leave it. Now we switch the power switch off. Now the transmitter, I made it at home, as you can see, and it has an Arduino Uno as a microcontroller. The Arduino Uno is connected to an RF transmitter, which is the NRF 24L transmitter, which has about 1.1 theoretical 1.1 kilometer range, theoretical range. This is the NRF, and inside the box we have the box was a toy from my kids, and I used it as to house the transmitter, and this is how I connect the transmitter to the joysticks and two switches. As for the receiver, I'm using an Arduino Nano microcontroller, as you can see, and the same NRF24L RF RF transmitter, receiver, transceiver. Here I'm using it as a receiver, on the transmitter as a transmitter, and I'm also using the MPU 5060 gyroscope / accelerometer in order to measure the angles, the attitude angles of the airplane and stabilize it while flying in the stabilization mode. Now this is the first version of the circuit. This is the connection of the transmitter, and this is the connection of the receiver and gyroscope.